On this episode of Real Screaming Kayaks, we have part 2 of our destination, New Zealand, where we head to Taranaki to fish with a couple of local kayak fishing legends, Herb Spanigal and Martin Rook. There's a winter clothing guide where we explain some of the things you can do to help keep you out on the water during this cold part of the year. Also, there's a huge section on winter fishing tips. Just some of the things that we're going to do in the coming few episodes as we get into the colder parts of the season where the fish become harder and slower on the bite. We have explanations on how to get the results during these tough times. All this and more coming up on Real Screaming Kayaks episode 8. Good first fish, and it's off! Screaming! Last time on New Zealand Destination, we featured part 1 of our trip to Taranaki, where Paul and I met up with 2 local legends of kayak fishing, Herb Spanigal and Martin Rook. With a combined age of over 160 years, they are certainly something to aspire to. As we headed out offshore, the Tuna found our lures at around 70 metres. According to Herb and Martin, the action was some of the best seen all season, and the first part of our day saw all of us entertained by these speedsters of the ocean. Yet, it was far from over. Another one. This guy did a massive big run, peeled off, and just before I hooked up, Martin hooked up over opposite me as well, and we both got fairly solid fish. They've been towing us a little bit backwards. My one's sitting down at least 30 metres, and I'm not gaining anything on him at the moment. He's just sort of stalemating me. So I'm just playing him out slowly, taking my time and enjoying the ride. And it is a ride too. These guys are just little speed trains. They just take off, and what fun. And it's awesome to be in Taranaki catching these fish. Just stunning weather we've got. Everything's come right. These boys are saying this is the window of weather they've been waiting for a long time. So we're out in about 72 metres, and yeah, good fun. The fish are here. They've been jumping on the surface, and yeah, it's really awesome.
Having fun, Martin?
Good fun, mate.
You winning?
Yeah. And you know what happens when they get beside the boat, eh? Or the kayak, they just decide they've had enough and off they go again, and yeah. Another nice fish. I'm just stoked, eh? This is my second fish of the day, and I'm just loving seeing everybody catching them. It's a real buzz, eh?
I've got a big grin on my face.
Yeah,
it's good fun.
It's a real buzz, isn't it? It's just something else. I mean, we get a bit over catching snapper. They're great fun, but yeah, just doing something different like this is, and this is what it's all about. This country's got this kind of fishing for everyone to enjoy, and just get out there and get amongst it.
It's definitely worth the drive.
Oh, this is a better one than my last one. So this one's up on the surface, but that doesn't mean anything because he could just take off as quick as that. Marty's bagged his one over there. And I'm about to do the same, hopefully, once we get this guy close enough. Come to Papa Bear.
Did you see there's a Scrambler 11 out here?
I did, mate. I was just talking about that before. Now, how awesome is that?
That's the furthest offshore I've ever seen a Scrambler 11, dude.
Says a lot for the boat. You know, the guy who's in it is obviously confident enough to come out here and tackle.
That's the one. Confidence.
So, yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely awesome. Come on, mate. Swimming around in circles, this guy. And here he comes. Come on. I haven't got him yet. He's pretty well secured by the looks of it, but you know, I haven't got him actually on the end of my gaff yet, and when that happens, then I'll have the fish. Come on, buddy. Up you come. They're really, really full on the surface, these guys. Here we go. This is a solid LB. I'm happy with this guy. Yes! There we go. Woo! Man! Out of gear.
That's a nicey, man. They got some muscle, all right.
Look at this guy. He's just going ballistic, as you can see. But I'm bleeding him while I'm holding him here. Pretty happy with that. Woo! Stoked. Leave him over the side for a minute. He's bleeding everywhere, including all over me. These guys have got a lot of blood in them, and it is quite important to get that blood off the fish and bleed it out. Much better eating, better quality eating. We weren't the only ones to enjoy this awesome action, and a couple of other kayakers had made contact with us on the VHF radio. So we got Lance from Costa Rica. Of all the people that you run into out here, I've been chatting to Lance on the internet and the phone, and he's come over here to Taranaki, and yeah, he's loving it. And I've been watching some mean footage of Lance catching some huge rooster fish, and he's got my attention big time, I tell you. Personally, a kind of fish that I'd like to catch one of these days. It's definitely on my bucket list. So how's it for you being in New Zealand, Lance?
You guys are rough. You guys are rough and tough, man. We don't have to go out this far back home. We're about 7 clicks out chasing tuna. Vinny and I caught him back home, what, a kilometer and a half out. We get our yellowfin sometimes, so.
Awesome.
You guys are rough and tumble.
We go hard, eh? We do
when
the
in
miles.
Rome, I'll try and hang.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely, yep. So you're loving it over here?
Oh, it's great, man. Beautiful weather. We'd be burning up in Costa Rica right now.
Yeah, yeah. Real hot, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lovely fish, man. Can't wait to get these home and get them cleaned up.
Yeah.
It was all worth the trip.
Yeah, awesome. And then over here, this fella here is a legend. Look at this, Scrambler 11. I mean, I've never seen, if you look behind me, you can see how far out we are, and he's out here on a Scrambler 11. Speaks volumes about...
With a boatload of albacore.
With a boatload of albacore too.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Loving
Bro.
Loving your kayak here, Rob.
Not my kayak, but an ocean kayak nonetheless, and obviously capable with you coming out this sort of distance.
Oh, totally capable.
Yeah.
Just a bit of determination.
That's it, bro, and a bit of rough as guts, as Lance would put it, eh?
Yeah.
Good old Kiwi roughness.
That's the way, mate.
Cheers, boys. Then one of the local legends hooked up on what would be really the last tuna for the day. You know, I mean, this guy here's been giving you a bit of a hard time. One of the highlights with doing a trip like this was spending time with the likes of Herb Spanigle and Martin Rook. These guys really know their stuff.
Just doesn't want to come up.
Yep, he's sitting there, isn't he? You can't blame them though, they know they don't want to get caught.
They don't want to come home with me. Aren't they beautiful fish? Just looking at them. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, stunning to look at, aren't they?
They're just built for speed and endurance.
Yeah, it's just the whole
Yeah.
shape of them and everything. They're just like a torpedo.
Well, when you see how they can fold in their pectoral fins into that notch,
Yeah, absolutely.
just to get that extra bit of speed up. It's a good solid.
Good solid fish, that one. Lovely colours on it.
Can you get
It was a real pleasure to watch them at work, and I got a lot of enjoyment seeing how happy going fishing from the kayak made them. You know, Herb and I were just talking, you know, you can't winch these fish in really fast. You've got to take your time with them
take your time?
and let them come up in their own time when they're ready. Play them out, let them tire out a bit, and use a gaff to secure them. Nice one. Nice fish too. Beautiful fish. Look at that. Still full of beans. Look at it. Kicking away at the side of the kayak.
Yeah.
Great fun, eh, Herb? You know.
I'm so glad you actually struck the best day virtually of the season, you know, to come here.
Yeah.
And you know, you can see why people like us, we're sort of knotted on this tuna thing, you know.
Yeah, and I can see it. I mean, if I lived down here all the time, I'd certainly be coming out to do this.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of fun. Me and Paul have both got big smiles.
It's a bit of an obsession. I've got we've already done 23 kilometres today. You know, and
Yeah.
On an average day we do 35, sometimes 40.
Yep.
You know, we're stuffed coming home, but you know, just to catch up.
But the rewards are great, aren't they? You know, you certainly feel alive when you come and do things like that. Not only was it a buzz for me, but also Herb. I mean, the smile on his face as he pulled in every one of these tuna spoke volumes about the passion he shares for this sport we call kayak fishing. So we're just heading back in. The other two have gone in ahead of us, but Herb and I couldn't help ourselves. We just had to pop back out to the 65 metre mark. Went pretty quiet on us, but we had a really good morning and a great bite. All of us catching albacore tuna. So we're heading back into the port at Taranaki now, and it's been a great day. Beautiful conditions, couldn't ask for better really. And it's still lovely out here, but you know, we've been out since about 7 o'clock this morning and it's now close to 3 o'clock, so we've been on the water for quite a number of hours. So quite interesting to see our day out on the water, and our trip log is a total of 32 kilometres so far. We've still got another couple to go. So all in all, good day, around about 35 k's round trip and great fun. And Herb's chatting away to me the whole way back, and you know, so yeah, awesome though. Had a good conversation about life in general and getting outdoors. Something we should all do more of.
That's right. Travel to places too.
Yeah. But hey, how cool is it out there?
Pretty windy.
I mean,
Made that flatten off pretty well, eh?
Yeah, I mean, stunning. We just cruised in. We were just like, we had to ring Coast Guard and we'll call up Coast Guard and tell them we're going to be half an hour late, which you should always do, especially if you're like giving them a trip report when you leave and you're giving them a time when you're going to be back, or an ETA. So if you're going to be late, all you got to do is call them up and get yourself a bit of an extension. Then they know, because if it gets to the time when they're expecting you back and you don't call in, then they raise the arm, and you certainly don't want people going out looking for you if you just decide to stop for another fish.
That's right. Good paddle back, Herb?
Yeah, great. We've done 36 kilometres.
36 k's today?
36 k's today.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Feeling it? On the sail though,
no,
eh?
actually,
On the pirate sail.
sail does help, but when you're 81 years of age, you need all the help you can get.
Don't we all?
Yes. No, we've had a wonderful day.
Awesome.
One of the cool things about this place in Taranaki down the port here is all the kayak community rallied together and basically talked to the council about putting in some facilities for when they come back to the port here to wash their kayaks. And you know, I challenge other areas in New Zealand to do the same, because this is really, really cool for people like us who come back, want to wash our kayaks down before we put them on our cars. And in our case, we're using a trailer, but it's just real nice to do the clean-up on the beach before we leave.
Reckon?
Kayak fishing is alive and well in Taranaki, and it was so good to catch up with so many like-minded enthusiasts at the beach after our day out. All too soon, our trip to Taranaki was over. Before leaving to head home, Paul and I couldn't resist one last glimpse of its ocean and the area we had been in search of, the albacore tuna. So with winter arriving and things are starting to cool down, obviously, especially on days like today, we've got like really nice sunny conditions, but there is a little bit of a southerly breeze blowing. It's only slight at the moment, but on those days when it's really, really cold, there are ways that you can still keep kayak fishing, and that is by wearing the right equipment. And when I mean equipment, I mean apparel. For me, one of the things that's really made a difference over the years is this shark skin. It offers three-way protection, so it's windproof and it's chill-proof, but it also keeps you warm. The thing about it is it's a technical material that actually offers you superior warmth, but without lots and lots of layers. So I choose to wear this sharkskin top. Other things that you can do is, you know, wear layers. Like on this kayak that I'm using, it's not so crucial that I wear dry gear, but on days when there's rain forecasts and things like that, I'll wear dry pants as well. And under those, I'll wear the likes of these sharkskin chill-proof pants or paddle pants. So looking at the feet, we basically have neoprene booties on, you can see there. Now one of the great things about these, you still get cold during that coldest part of winter when things are really, really chilly and you're down to 10 degrees and below. So you can get what we call sharkskin socks, which you can wear underneath these neoprene booties. Now you can wear neoprene as well, socks, but the problem is 3mm socks is what you're going to need minimum in terms of keeping your feet warm. They seem to get affected by the cold more than anything else, especially sitting still in the kayak. So the sharkskin socks are 1mm, yet they offer the equivalent of 3mm warmth. So the good thing about that is they don't create a lot of bulk under your existing booties. They've made a difference for me over the years. On top of that, we have dry pants. Now in this kayak and today, because it's sunny and there's no rain, I don't have dry pants on, but generally during winter I will wear these sharkskin chill-proof pants here. They offer that same protection of warmth and also wind protection, but the dry gear on top of it can actually add that layer that gives you waterproofing. These are waterproof to a certain degree, but I find wearing dry pants when it's really, really wet makes the difference. On top, I've got the shark skin climate control top. Now the good thing about this is it's got a zip here. So if on days like today, for example, it does get quite hot, you can open that zip up and let a bit of cool air in. Don't need it right now, it's pretty warm. The other thing I have is hand protection. I wear these gloves here. You can wear full gloves during winter, but it's crucial that you get yourself a pair of gloves that's going to keep your fingers warm especially. I like to have a couple of fingers exposed, but during that cold part of winter you can use full gloves and perhaps wear one glove that has some fingers exposed for tying line and things like that. Then there's the extra bits and pieces you can have. Now this is a dry top here. Now I always carry a dry top with me in case it rains, for example. I can put this on and basically it keeps me warm and dry. And it also adds a bit more wind protection too. Even though this existing shark skin material, which is the technical material they have, provides that, but these here are also really nice. So it's like a Gore-Tex material, breathable, but it's waterproof. And it has a zip on it so you can basically undo it and do it up. Neoprene cuffs to keep the water from entering up your sleeves of your top. So you use, you know, dry gear like that for keeping the rain off. The other thing that I'll wear is like this thing around my neck here. It's like a neck sort of protector. Good on the hot days, but I find it's too much for me during summer, so I tend not to wear anything. But during winter, these are great. You can layer it up around your neck, keeps your neck warm. But also, if the wind's blowing and you're getting cold on the face, you can put this over your face like this to add that extra protection. And I'm already getting quite warm just with this on. On top of your head, you've got your cap. Now, you can also, in terms of your cap, you can also do things like with shark skin you can get a chill-proof beanie, which is thin again and can be worn underneath this hat, which will keep your head warm. Otherwise you can put just the standard beanie on top of this woolen hat or anything on top of your cap, and it will help keep you warm as toast. So there's a couple of things that I do when it comes to winter. And check out the shark skin range. It's a game changer as far as clothing for colder months, especially winter. For more top fishing tips and techniques, head down to your local store and grab a copy of New Zealand Bay Fisher magazine. What a beautiful day. It's the start of winter, you know, when things start changing as far as the fishing goes. It gets a little bit harder, but one of the best things that I like about winter is the fact that the snapper, especially in the far north area, move up into the shallows, making it perfect for us kayakers. And during the next few months, we'll, you know, go over some fishing in the shallows. Today we've got a scenario of full moon. You know, not the best day to go fishing, and I picked this day in particular to show you that it is possible to still catch fish on a full moon. And with winter right on our doorstep now, things are starting to get a bit colder, the water temperatures drop down. You know, we're looking at about sort of 17 degrees, 16 degrees around the coastline. But you know, here's some techniques that you can use to catch snapper during winter. So to start with, we're going to start our winter sort of fishing in the shallows by using soft baits. I've got a Abu Garcia Veritas soft bait rod here and a Abu reel. Light set, you know, we've got sort of 6 kilo braid on it and light line as well. You know, we're using 20 pound, but one of the things you've got to be prepared to do during winter is downscale the thickness of your fluorocarbon. Sometimes with the cooler water temperatures we get that clearer water, and so we've got to be prepared to basically go down in our thickness of trace. You know, I'm using 20 pound here as I was saying, but you know, it may be necessary to go down to 15 pound or even 10 pound in extreme cases where you've got that super clear water. But these are little things that you will need to do in order to get those fish to hit your baits. So we're going to fish some soft baits today, and we'll also do some micro jigging. You know, basically the beginning of the day, it's bright sunny conditions and we're in the shallows. You know, we're sitting in about 7 meters at the moment, and I can see fish sign on the sounder. So one of the keys to having success is pick a good location to do this. You know, there are lots of places in the far north, down in the Firth of Thames, Coromandel, especially over the eastern side, East Cape, Bay of Plenty. There's a lot of places you can target winter fishing and have good conditions. I'm in Coromandel today. Coromandel's stunning for winter. You've got 3 coastlines, so there's always somewhere you can go. But as I was saying, you know, with winter, you get these beautiful days like today where it's calm, glassy, and ideal for getting out there. The other great thing I love about winter is less boat traffic around. A lot of people hang up their rods for winter. So, you know, it's great for us because we are in stealth mode, so we don't want that boat traffic on the water. The quieter it is, the more chance we've got of finding those elusive moocher snapper up in the shallows. One thing you've got to consider when selecting your soft baits is you want a bait that will give you the maximum return for the job. Because winter, the things start cooling down, the fish stop feeding as much. They'll be less willing to take things. So it's quite crucial to select something that's going to make a difference and give you the edge when that happens. My choice is the Berkeley Gulp. I use these year round, but for winter time especially, they are my go-to bait. There's a new bait on the market from these guys called the jigging shrimp. Now these are great, especially for winter. I start to downsize my bait size because they get a little less willing to feed. They will take a nice little snack, you know. So basically these here have a nice little curly tail on them, as you can see, and they come in a variety of colours. They have a couple of little feelers on them. Now these are great on a light head. It's quite crucial to match up the head size and weight size for the shallows. Like at the moment I'm using a 3/8 of an ounce, but in the shallow water you should go down to a 1/4 or even a 1/6 of an ounce if you can get hold of some. They will give you a really slow sink rate, so quite crucial. But the other thing is you want to make sure you match your hook size up depending on your bait. Like this is a little 1-bar-0 in the Berkeley Saltwater Pro series, and you know this here is perfect for this. If you can see that, it basically comes out down the body but not too far that it affects the action of the bait. So yeah, match it up, match your hook size up properly with the soft bait. It's not so much the gape, it's the shank length of the hook that you want to get right. Get that correct and you'll still have good action on your soft bait, and you will still get good hookup rate. When putting your soft bait on, make sure you get it straight on the hook. You can see that tail hangs out the back, flicks along as it's drawn through the water. So that's nice and straight on the hook, hook's protruding. And of course, when you're holding the soft bait up, you know, the hook sits upright, which prevents you from getting snagged. The other thing that I do is I get my packets of soft baits. I've got myself a container like this. Now what I do is I basically put all my soft baits in the packets into my containers. And that way I can keep a variety of soft baits. It keeps them hydrated in the juice, and it's convenient and easy to use. So yeah, nice little container like that holds quite a lot of soft baits for me. Good variety, keeps me going for the whole day. So the other thing to do is, you know, because I've started out, I'm sort of in the middle of the day, right close to slack tide. Not ideal particularly, but I've started off in the shallows and there's not really a lot of sign in here. Use your fish finder to look for fish, mark, you know, and that gives you an indication that they're around, and you can work from there. So we've got out to about 11.5 meters, 12 meters, and there's a bit of sign on the sounder. And this is what you got to do in winter. You got to move around, look for those fish marks on the sounder. We're in an area away, we're a little bit away from the coast now, not too far. But you know, during the middle of the day when things sort of get like this, the fish can move out a bit deeper, and then once that light sort of drops, they will move into the shallows again. So yeah, so it's all about being prepared to adjust all your day's fishing to suit whatever those fish are doing, you know. So I've just cast out, I'm casting out in front of the drift at the moment. We're not really drifting a lot, to be honest, so, but yeah, just casting out. There's a bit of a fish, and yes, straight in. No, dropped it. And this can happen too with the fish sometimes, especially during winter. They can be a little bit harder on the bite. So if a fish hits your soft bait and nothing happens, the best thing you can do is drop your rod tip and let it sink back down again. Snapper come in and basically will hit a soft bait, and sometimes they'll hit it just to, yep, and look at that. It picked it up off the bottom. So what I was saying was snapper can sometimes hit those soft baits and let go of them. And they do that just with normal fish, bait fish, they'll stun them. And when they sink down to the bottom, they'll come along and eat them. And this is what this fish has done. I did exactly that, reacted by letting it drop straight back down to the bottom and sitting there for a minute, and the fish came along and just scoffed it. Pretty respectable first snapper when I moved, you know. Legal fish. I prefer them a little bit bigger than this, so I am going to let them go if I can. Then I headed out to deeper water to play with the micro jigs. So I dropped down the micro jig, and what do you know? Pulled up something beautiful, John Dory. Oh yeah, stunning fish. Don't want to lose it though. Great dory. Gonna have to grab this one real quick before it unhooks itself. So try and throw their hook really well. There we go. You beauty, John Dory. I'm stoked with that. Lovely colours on it. Look at that. Beautiful fish. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's giving off a bit of a croak now. Lovely fish. Look at the colours on that. And it's croaking away. And this is one of the great things about winter. You know, you can still get species like John Dory around. I'm out in about sort of 17, 18 metres at the moment. We're right on the slack tide, you know, so, but, you know, to get a fish like that, you can see these guys have a really big sort of mouth that opens up like that and engulfs a bait fish. That's a great thing about fishing soft baits and micro jigs and things like that, is that fish like this do actually take anything that replicates a bait fish. So winter time, John Dory around. So a bit of a change of location. Sun's starting to go down a bit now. We're getting to about the 3 o'clock in the afternoon time, so I've been fishing out wider in about 16, 17 metres, and I thought I'd start to come in now and throw some soft baits around. I've been using micro jigs out there and catching plenty of fish, but most of them have been pretty small. So coming into the shallows now, and first cast with a soft bait produced the goods. So yeah, hooked up on one of these little jigging shrimps. So there we go, great fish. Always flick your bail arm off before when you bring this fish on board. Once you've got hold of it, take the bail arm off, and then nothing can happen with your rod tip. Quite often this is where they can be very vulnerable. Check that out. It's a lovely fish. Beautiful colours on it. Next time on Real Screaming Kayaks Fishing Tips, we'll look at casting soft baits right up into the shallows and more. Special thanks to our sponsors. Outdoor Sports New Zealand provide the Old Town kayaks and Ocean kayak that get us to the action. Humminbird provides the technology that finds the fish. Railblazer customises our kayaks. Sharkskin protects the body against the elements. Neptune assists with the free diving, and Pelage captures the seafood. Jigstar rods fight the fish, and Zest jigs attract the fish.